Good morning, everyone. We're live again on almost, I guess this is March now, March 1st. That will be announcing the weekly album chart results of the fourth week of February, which was last week. Yeah, it doesn't really feel like March, even though we did have 29th because it was leap year. So everybody was celebrating the extra day of February. But yeah, it doesn't really feel spring necessarily. I guess March isn't really spring anymore these days. It did snow a lot in the Northeast yesterday and the day before. Hopefully everybody stayed warm and safe. As usual, we're gonna wait a couple of minutes until we start. Just looking at this week's chart results. And I suppose there weren't that many new albums necessarily, but a lot of the albums that did well last week are still on, and a couple of new ones too. So we get to talk about them this week. Waiting for a couple of minutes until we have a couple of people to join the live broadcast today. This would be HANTEO Charts weekly physical album chart of fourth week of February announcement. Hello. Hello, everyone. I guess we did start very on clock today. Okay, my voice. Totally fine. I'm not sick. Everybody stay healthy. I suppose we'll get started on announcing the fourth week of February. I'm just thinking February too. Fourth week of February's weekly physical album chart results. Now, so we will, as usual, announce the world's one and only real-time chart, HANTEO Charts weekly physical album chart result of fourth week of February starting now. This is your host, Joe. And if you're curious about K-pop album sales, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. And yeah, let's get started looking at the weekly physical album chart result of fourth week of February. Hello, hello. Starting with the 10th place of HANTEO Charts weekly physical album chart result of fourth week of February was taken by BTS. BTS's Love Yourself Answer album was sold 1,344 copies. So I guess this sort of happens a lot with the BTS releases. Like if there is a new release, their previous albums also get sold together. So it kind of rises up the charts, and this is another one. So Answer, yeah, I guess it was one of the more recent ones, and people are like picking up BTS and purchasing the album. We'll definitely talk more about BTS on with their new release results. But yeah, Answer, just thinking back, I think it was a great album for sure. It did win a lot of different awards besides the charts result for album sales with the album cover, and it definitely had all the songs included in this full-length album. So yeah, great album. On the 10th place of HANTEO Charts weekly physical album chart of fourth week of February, Love Yourself Answer sold 1,344 copies. Moving on to the ninth place. Ninth place of HANTEO charts, weekly physical album chart, a fourth week of February was taken by actually not an artist album. It's a original soundtrack album of Parasite, the movie. This OSC album was sold 1,416 copies in the last week. So I hope everybody by now have seen this movie. To be honest, I rarely go to movie theaters, but I did watch this movie in theaters just because of all the hype, and it's such a great movie. And yeah, I think in the US too, it used to be in just few theaters, but after it won so many awards for the movies, it now is available widely in many movie theaters. So definitely check it out. Not gonna spoil anything. But yeah, I'm sure you've seen a lot of memes online, and even though that was funny, but it's not like the funniest movie ever. But definitely check it out. The movie itself also won the César Award in France recently, so it's only gonna win more foreign movie awards in the coming days. And it seems like everybody's also interested in what the director Bong Joon-ho is doing online too. I saw a trending on him on Twitter as well. So all of the previous movies that he's done before are also good, so check them out. And yeah, the movie obviously owes a lot to the OST, the soundtrack as well. So it's probably why people decided to buy the album for the original soundtrack. And here we are on the ninth place of HANTEO charts, weekly physical album chart of fourth week of February, taken by the original soundtrack album of the movie Parasite. It was sold 1,416 copies in the last week. Oh, you watched Parasite? Yeah, it's I think even for me, like I watch maybe like 5 movies a year tops, but it was like one of those things I had to watch. So check it out when it's in the theaters. Okay, moving on to the eighth place. Eighth place of HANTEO charts, weekly physical album chart of fourth week of February was taken by Moonbyul of Mamamoo. Her mini album, Dark Side of the Moon, was sold 1,451 copies in the last week. So she just wrapped up her solo promotion, and she revealed her thoughts on this new, new promotion, new album, that she's thankful for the support from the fans and many people who made her, supported her new challenge throughout this promotion. And unfortunately, because of the coronavirus getting worse in Korea, she had to cancel her promotion / solo concert that was scheduled to be held in Japan. And her concert was scheduled to be in April, which was canceled, and her promotion that was supposed to happen in Japan in March also got postponed rather than canceled. So hopefully the situation dies down, everybody stay healthy, gets better, and moving on with the promotion as well. So that was eighth place, Moonbyul of Mamamoo, Dark Side of the Moon, the mini album that was sold 1,451 copies in the fourth week of February. You know, this weekly physical album chart result is presented by HANTEO Chart, the world's one and only real-time chart, and the album sales are based on the album sales all around the world. So no matter where you're watching this broadcast from, if you bought an album to support your artist, definitely contributed to this weekly physical album result, and you successfully supported your artist. Moving on to the seventh place in HANTEO charts, weekly physical album chart of February, fourth week of February, was taken by another BTS album. BTS's Map of the Soul Persona was sold 1,862 copies in the last week. Another album that I guess ARMY's picked up, given that this is the most recent album other than the 7 release, it makes sense that it's on high on the charts, as armies would pick it up. Why not get another album while in the store? Yeah, I see there's a ARMY BTS supporter in the chat. But yeah, I think definitely if you, for whatever reason, didn't buy Map of the Soul Persona album, you should definitely get it because it goes with the 7 album, right? So there you go. So that was in 7th place. BTS's Map of the Soul Persona sold 1,862 copies in the 4th week of February. Moving on to the 6th place. 6th place of the last week's weekly album chart was taken by Pentagon. Pentagon's Universe the Black Hole album was sold 2,512 copies in the last week. This album's obviously doing well since its release, and Pentagon has been actively promoting with this album and the title track, Mr. Baby. And recently, Pentagon's Jinho and Hui appeared on Immortal Songs. If you don't know this program, you invite like a very, I guess, famous and well-known singer in Korea who's been active or maybe non-active, 50s and above even, would know this famous singer, and they would sing. The I guess junior singers would cover their senior singer's song, and you get to everybody gets to enjoy the broadcast, because if you're a young person who just doesn't know the older song but supports the K-pop artists who are relatively younger, then you can enjoy it. And if you're an older watcher, then you know the song and learn about these new talented kids, essentially. So that's the gist of the program. And Pentagon's Jinho and Hui covered the song, called Joy in English. It's a very famous song, like everybody in Korea sort of knows the song, by a singer named Jung Sura. And you can definitely just search on YouTube and there's a clip of it, and it's an amazing cover. Song itself is very exciting too, and it was released, I think, like 1988, I want to say. But basically, with the cover, it's basically born as a new song. So yeah, the Pentagon, they're so grown up. Yeah, I mean, I guess haven't they been around for like a few years now? The concept, I think, they definitely tried a lot of different things, and Dr. Baby is one of the things that they've never tried before, which I love. And also recently, member Hong Suk of Pentagon did a live broadcast with the fans and played online games. And I think K-pop fans definitely love the opportunity to interact with their favorite artists in different ways. And I think playing a game is another new way to enjoy this interaction. So that was great. Hope to see Pentagon interacting with the fans, participating in different promotion activities more in the coming weeks. And that was in 6th place, the HANTEO Chart's weekly physical album chart of 4th week of February. Universe the Black Hole album was sold 2,512 copies in the last week. Yes, so this weekly physical album chart is presented by HANTEO Chart, the world's one and only real-time music chart. And if you are enjoying this broadcast, interested in learning more about the weekly physical album chart results by week, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. Moving on to the 5th place. 5th place of the 4th week of February's weekly physical album chart was taken by Dreamcatcher. Dreamcatcher's Dystopia, the Tree of Language album was sold 2,881 copies in the last week. So they're obviously promoting very actively in music shows, and they were nominated in 1st place multiple times in this week's music broadcast as well. I don't think they won for win, did they? But I think they totally deserve it. This is just like my personal opinion here. But they've also appeared on Idol Radio to mention how they got nominated in the first place and how they're grateful for it. I think Insomnia's, the fans, are doing a good job supporting them with their comeback this time around. Yeah, hopefully you can continue to see their promotion on the music shows in the coming week as well. And that was in fifth place, Dreamcatcher's Dystopia, the Tree of Language album that was sold 2,881 copies in last week. Moving on to the fourth place. Fourth place of HANTEO Chart's weekly physical album chart of fourth week of February was taken by EXO. EXO's From Exoplanet number 1, The Lost Planet in Seoul. I believe as a DVD was sold 2,972 copies in the last week. Not sure. I think I'm just wildly guessing because I think this particular concert DVD was released 2014. Isn't this their first? I don't know if there's any XOLs on the chat today, but isn't this like their first concert, like with the very first album, like the title track, like Mama and all that jazz? So what I'm guessing is maybe they did like a repress of this concert. And yeah, but obviously if you, for whatever reason, missed EXO's previous concert here, then here it is in DVD format, so you can catch up and become XOLs. And I guess for EXO, their recent news, Baekhyun participated in the original soundtrack of the TV drama called Hyena, and the soundtrack was released online on the 29th of February, so you can definitely give it a listen. And also, due to the whole coronavirus, I guess, is it okay to call it epidemic? It almost feels like it. But the SM Entertainment artists and EXO members have also given and donated to help the help the effort to the relief of the situation. Yeah, so a lot of the members did that, and many articles got released as well. So, and I'm sure like a lot of the fandoms out there are also participating in the relief as well. So, yes, that was the recent from EXO. Somebody saying Baekhyun's voice is always sweet. Really is. I think I especially love when the idols do the original soundtrack of TV shows, because the songs are very usually mellow, like in terms of genre, it's usually ballads. And I think it's rare these days to have a ballad release, just because the K-pop is so centered around dance tracks, like EDM type of songs, or hip hop even these days. So it's a rare chance to really enjoy your favorite artist's vocal and voice. So yeah, definitely give it a listen. And that was in fourth place. Fourth place, EXO's From Exoplanet number 1, The Lost Planet in Seoul, was sold 2,972 copies in the last week. Moving on to the third place. Third place of HANTEO Chart's weekly physical album chart of fourth week of February was taken by Robbie of X. His album El Dorado was sold 5,780 copies in the last week. This is his first solo full-length album. and the title track is called Rockstar. It features Palo Alto, the rapper, the famous hip hop artist in Korea, and the rest of the album is also joined by a lot of the famous hip hop artists in Korea. So it's a great album if you especially love hip hop based songs. I did give a watch to the music video of the title track Rockstar, and it's a very, lack of a better term, hit music video. It's sort of like Ravi is just chilling out with his friends and like riding bikes in the dirt and all that. So it sort of gives like a sort of a Western almost track vibe, and the track itself too. So it's a very cool song, and the music video as well. And he recently announced that he was going to hold a world tour based on this album. It's called El Dorado World Tour. And the US is also one of the stops. I don't think he exactly announced the date or like the ticket information yet. I've Googled because like I want to go. But hopefully soon, and we get to see his amazing performance and rapping, singing on the stage here in the US as well. His solo concert in Seoul, I believe, Ravi's third real live rook book is completely sold out, at least in Korea. So hopefully we could get to see him in the US soon as well. So that was in third place, Ravi of Vix. El Dorado, the album, was sold 5,780 copies in the fourth week of February. We're up to the second place now. So this weekly physical album chart, presented by HANTEO Chart, the world's one and only real-time chart. And the results is based on album sales from all around the world. So if you had bought an album last week, particularly, it counted towards this announcement, a weekly physical album chart. And go you, supporting your favorite artists. So we're up to the second place of HANTEO Chart's weekly physical album chart of fourth week of February was taken by IZ*ONE. IZ*ONE's Boom Eyes album was sold 24,918 copies in the last week. As you know, we've talked about this album a few times now on this broadcast. And as you know, the title track is called Fiesta, and they recently released the special choreography video. I wonder if anybody actually watched that in the chat today. And their initial Chorong results, which is the amount of albums that they sold in the first week of the release within the 7 days, recorded 356,313 copies. That's a lot. Not just because it's over 300,000, but it is in fact the most albums sold in the initial Chorong, the first week of release period, among all K-pop girl groups that ever existed, basically. So amazing job, IZ*ONE and WIZ*ONE. Congratulations. And yeah, so I guess because everybody's been waiting for this album so long, they were just like rushing to the stores to get this album, and it is indeed sold 300,000 more than I shouldn't just say 300,000, 356,313 copies in the first week, and it's only counting and growing to go up. So congratulations. And I believe they did win a couple of music shows recently too. So hopefully the great results and the promotion goes on for IZ*ONE in the coming weeks as well. So yeah, that was second place in the weekly physical album chart of fourth week of February, taken by IZ*ONE. The album Boom Eyes was sold 24,918 copies in the last week. Only left with first place, and somebody said on the chat that first place is definitely BTS, and in fact it is. The first place was taken by BTS, Map of the Soul 7 album. It was sold 427,233 copies in the last week. Obviously, very big number. Nothing compared to the last week, but still sort of like overkilling all the other albums in the weekly physical album charts. And they also just had their initial showdown period, which is the first week of release. And it actually recorded a whopping number of 3,378,006. I can't even say the number straight. 3,378,633 copies in a single week, in the first week of the release. And this definitely is the highest record in K-pop history. You know, all of K-pop history, all the albums released, this is the album that was sold the most within the first week of release. While we are congratulating on this amazing feat, there is an unfortunate news for ARMYs in Korea. Because of the coronavirus, BTS had to cancel their Korean stops of the tour on the 11th to, I guess not 11th to, but 11th, 12th, and 18th and 19th concert in Korea. So I had to cancel it. They refunded everyone who bought the tickets. And what was really heartwarming, I think personally, in two different ways. So when the news was announced, I think all the international armies sort of made the hashtag trend on the Twitter to basically, you know, comfort the Korean armies and like how they feel sorry and they support BTS and Korean armies all together. So that was really good. And the second thing is that the people who got their tickets refunded decided to donate that money to the effort to relieve the coronavirus the status. So yeah, that's, I think it's almost, if armies, because there are so many of armies, including myself, all around the world and obviously in Korea, that if they decide to do good things and, you know, do the right things, and it definitely makes news and definitely makes a difference. I think just K-pop community in general is really good at using their influence in good ways. So kudos to us, them, everybody. And yeah, definitely, I think, yeah, like somebody saying in the chat, Corona is a big issue these days in K-pop community and in Korea in general. So a lot of the events are getting canceled and people are, you know, being extra cautious about where they're going, what they're doing. So hopefully it dies down very soon. And yeah, hopefully the artists and also a person, you fans who are watching this broadcast, to stay safe and healthy. Yeah, that was in first place, BTS's Map of the Soul 7 album in HANTEO Chart's weekly physical album chart of 4th week of February was sold 427,233 copies in the last week. Everybody on this top 10 weekly physical album chart result, congratulations. Great, amazing results. And very excited to see the promotions that are gonna come for the new albums. And yeah, I think it is in fact March, and hopefully we can see a lot of the new artists coming back and new albums in the coming days and doing well on the weekly physical album chart as well. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and announce everybody on the chart once again and congratulate them. On HANTEO Chart's weekly physical album chart of 4th week of February, starting on the first place, BTS Map of the Soul 7 album sold 427,233 copies in the last week. Second place, Eyes One, Blue Eyes album sold 24,918 copies. In third place, Ravi of VIX El Dorado, the album was sold 5,780 copies. In fourth place, EXO from Exoplanet #1, The Lost Planet in Seoul, was sold 2,972 copies. Fifth place, Dreamcatcher, Dystopia, the Tree of Language album, sold 2,881 copies. In sixth place, Pentagon Universe, the Black Hole album, sold 2,512 copies. In seventh place, BTS, the Soul Persona, sold 1,862 copies. In eighth place, Moonbyul of Mamamoo, Dark Side of the Moon, the mini album, sold 1,451 copies. And in ninth place was the original soundtrack album of the movie Parasite. That was sold 1,416 copies. And in 10th place, BTS Love Yourself Answer album was sold 1,344 copies. Congratulations, all the artists and the album that was listed on this last week's top 10 albums of the weekly physical album chart of HANTEO chart. I just saw somebody saying on stage is so crazy. Yeah, I guess I didn't even get to talk about the title track as much in the past weeks, so I guess I'll talk about on a little bit. When I first heard the track, it really felt like, because I knew that Sia was going to feature on the album, and definitely sounded like, oh my gosh, this is like that one of the female solo songs that you get to hear a lot here in the States. And yeah, it was such a powerful song. And if you have, I'm sure if you have already looked at their lyrics, it definitely, I guess, like everybody was conjecturing how this album was gonna be like Persona or Map of the Soul Shadow. And it sort of talks to the sort of inner, deeper side of all the BTS members' minds, I suppose. So with the strong music and the lyrics, I think it definitely really hit hard to, especially the armies who were supporting BTS. And the title track itself did really well on the digital streaming side as well. So if you go to HANTEO chart, you can also see the digital ranking for streaming, and along with other B-side tracks, definitely took, swept the digital chart as well. So yeah, great album, great song. That was BTS. Yeah, so that was the charts weekly physical album chart of 4th week of February. And if you're curious about how many albums or new albums will be counted during the coming week, and also if you're curious about the previous week result as well, definitely check them out in the weekly physical album chart results in Who's Fan app. So if you download the Who's Fan app on your phone, you can check weekly, not only weekly, you can see monthly, yearly, and even the real-time results of the day. So especially if you have an album release of your favorite artists in the coming week, you can check how many albums are sold worldwide on the app in real time. So don't forget to check it out. And you can also contribute to your favorite artist star charts on there as well. So yeah, definitely check the app out called Who's Fan. And also please subscribe to Who's Fan TV, the YouTube channel here, and like this video, and we will continue to report on the weekly physical album chart results of the coming weeks and any associated fun news associated with the artists as well. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, everyone, of the 4th week of February announcement. And this was your host, Joe, and hope to see you next week as well. Yeah, it's March, so hopefully enjoy the warm weather and see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.